Let's talk global trade. It's the invisible engine that keeps our world spinning, connecting continents, fueling economies, and shaping the destinies of nations. Every day, millions of tons of goods, everything from electronics to coffee beans, crisscross the globe, making their way from factories to your front door. But behind this seamless flow lies a fierce competition for control over the routes that make it all possible. It might sound dull, but trust me, things are heating up. The stakes are higher than ever, and the players are some of the world's biggest powers. What happens on these trade routes can send shockwaves through global markets, impact the price of your morning coffee, and even decide who holds the reins of international influence. For over a century, the Panama Canal was the only shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific, America's pride and joy. This engineering marvel sliced weeks off shipping times, transformed global commerce, and cemented the U.S. as the gatekeeper of a vital artery. The canal became a symbol of American ingenuity and power, a lock and key to the world's trade. But now, there's a new project on the horizon, and it's making Washington sweat. Headlines buzz with speculation, politicians debate behind closed doors, and maps are being redrawn. The world is watching as a new contender steps up to challenge the old order. Enter Mexico's $4.5 billion plan, with China footing the bill. This isn't just another infrastructure project. It's a bold move to reshape the map of global trade. With Chinese investment and Mexican ambition, a new corridor is taking shape, promising to rival the Panama Canal's dominance. This isn't just about trains and ships, it's a geopolitical chess match. Every handshake, every rail laid, is a move in a high-stakes game between superpowers. The outcome could shift alliances, redraw spheres of influence, and change the way goods move across continents. The Panama Canal has been the main pipe for 100 years, with the U.S. obsessively guarding the valve. American interests have shaped the region, and the canal's security has been a top priority for generations. It's more than just a waterway, it's a symbol of control. Now, China is helping Mexico build a state-of-the-art bypass right next door. This new route could siphon off traffic, money, and influence, giving both Mexico and China a powerful new lever in global affairs. It's a bold bet on the future of trade. This move challenges the old order in a region the U.S. has long considered its backyard. The balance of power is shifting, and the world is watching to see who will control the next great gateway between oceans. So, what is the Interoceanic Corridor? It's a massive infrastructure project across Mexico's narrowest point, the Isthmus of Tehuantepec. The plan overhaul a 300-kilometer railway connecting Salina Cruz on the Pacific to Coatzacoalcos on the Atlantic. Ships dock, containers move by train, and get loaded onto new ships, faster and more reliable than the Panama Canal. People have dreamed of this shortcut for centuries, but now, with China's backing, it's finally possible. The project isn't just tracks, it's dredged ports, new industrial parks, and a logistics network built from scratch. It's an attempt to create an entire economic ecosystem. This could transform Mexico's role in global trade. Why does China's $4.5 billion investment in Mexico matter? On the surface, it might look like just another big international deal, but this move is a signal of something much larger unfolding across the Americas. China isn't just investing in a single project, it's laying down roots, establishing a presence that's reshaping the economic landscape of Latin America. Because it's part of a much bigger play. China's ambitions stretch far beyond Mexico's borders. This investment is a piece of a global puzzle, a calculated step in a long-term strategy to expand its influence and secure its economic future. While the US was distracted elsewhere, focusing on conflicts in the Middle East and trade wars in Asia, China quietly became Latin America's top economic partner. In just 2 decades, it has transformed from a minor player to a dominant force, forging deep ties with governments and businesses across the region. Trade between China and Latin America exploded from just $12 billion in 2000 to over $315 billion by 2020. That's not just growth, it's a seismic shift in global trade patterns, with Chinese goods, technology, and capital flowing into every corner of the region. China's strategy is simple but powerful. Invest in what Latin America desperately needs: modern ports, highways, railways, and power plants. Through its Belt and Road Initiative, China is funding and building the infrastructure that will connect Latin America not just to Asia, but to the world. Take Peru's $3.5 billion Reshape port, for example. Funded and constructed by Chinese companies, this massive project will give South America a direct, high-capacity gateway to Asian markets, bypassing traditional routes and reducing shipping times dramatically. This isn't just business, it's about securing supply chains for decades to come. By controlling key logistics hubs, China ensures that its companies and its economy have reliable access to the resources and markets they need. China's investments are reshaping the region's infrastructure, transforming outdated ports and roads into modern, efficient networks. These projects are changing how goods, people, and ideas move across Latin America, and they're doing it at a scale and speed few others can match. The US is no longer the only game in town. For decades, Washington called the shots in Latin America. Now Beijing is offering an alternative, one that comes with deep pockets, fewer political strings, and a willingness to build what others won't. China's approach is strategic, not just economic. Every investment, every handshake, every new port or highway is part of a broader plan to build influence, foster loyalty, and create new opportunities for Chinese companies and the Chinese state. It's building influence, one project at a time. Each new bridge, power plant, or shipping terminal is a symbol of China's growing presence, and a reminder that the balance of power in the Americas is shifting. The Mexican corridor is just the latest and boldest move in this grand strategy. As China continues to invest, Latin America's future is being rewritten, one ambitious project at a time. The Panama Canal has been the king of maritime shortcuts for over a century. But now, its biggest weakness is exposed, not by rivals, but by climate. Droughts have dropped water levels in Gatun Lake, threatening the canal's operation. In 2023 and 2024, ship traffic was slashed, causing massive delays and global supply chain headaches. The canal's reliability is in question. For shipping companies, waiting weeks at sea is a nightmare. The world is realizing the old route isn't as dependable as it once was. That's why alternatives like Mexico's corridor suddenly matter so much. The US is more than a little uneasy about all this. For over a century, it's seen Central America as its turf, with the Panama Canal as the crown jewel. Now China is funding a major trade route right next door in Mexico. This isn't just economic competition, it's strategic. US officials worry about Chinese control over critical infrastructure in a crisis. Chinese companies already operate ports at both ends of the Panama Canal, making the Pentagon nervous. Civilian facilities could have dual-use potential, raising security concerns. A new Chinese-backed corridor in Mexico only amplifies these fears. It's a new point of leverage for Beijing in America's backyard. A new alternative to the Panama Canal would shake up global shipping. For a century, routes and ship sizes have revolved around the canal's limits. Mexico's corridor would break that monopoly, giving shippers more options and leverage. Competition could mean lower costs and greater efficiency. The corridor is more than a shortcut. It's an economic development zone with new industrial parks. Companies could manufacture in Mexico and ship efficiently to the US or Asia. This could make Mexico a manufacturing powerhouse. North American trade dynamics may never be the same. The emergence of the Chinese-backed Mexican corridor is reshaping the geopolitical landscape of the Americas, forcing countries to navigate a complex and delicate balancing act. This corridor, a massive infrastructure and trade initiative, is not just about moving goods. It's about shifting alliances, economic power, and influence across the region. As China pours billions into ports, railways, and logistics hubs, the stakes for Mexico and its neighbors have never been higher. The choices made now will echo for decades, determining who holds sway in the Western Hemisphere. For Mexico and other Latin American nations, China's investment, offered without the political conditions or Western strings that often accompany US or European aid, presents a tantalizing opportunity. These deals promise rapid development, new jobs, and a chance to modernize infrastructure that has long lagged behind. For leaders eager to deliver results to their people, the appeal is obvious. It's more than just a financial boost. It's a chance for countries to assert their independence on the world stage, to show they can chart their own course and make decisions that serve their own interests. The hope is that this new wave of investment will spark economic growth, create new industries, and lift millions out of poverty. But the United States, long the dominant power in the region, is watching these developments with growing unease. Washington is wary of losing its traditional influence and is concerned that China's expanding footprint could undermine American interests, both economically and strategically. For Latin American governments, the challenge is to embrace the benefits of Chinese partnership without alienating the US, a delicate diplomatic dance. They must weigh the promise of Chinese investment against the risk of straining ties with their powerful northern neighbor. This is the new great game, a high-stakes contest where the US and China are vying for influence, not just through military might, but through trade, investment, and diplomacy. The outcome will shape the future of the Americas. The US is scrambling to catch up, launching new initiatives and warning of the risks of Chinese involvement. Yet, aggressive rhetoric and pressure tactics often backfire, pushing some countries even closer to Beijing. By contrast, China's straightforward business-first approach, focused on building infrastructure and creating jobs, can look far more attractive. For many, the promise of quick results outweighs concerns about long-term dependency or political entanglements. Leaders across the region are skillfully playing both sides, leveraging competition between the superpowers to secure the best possible deals for their countries. It's a high-wire act, requiring careful negotiation and constant recalibration. The ultimate challenge is to reap the benefits of this new era of investment and opportunity without getting caught in the crossfire of a global rivalry that is only just beginning to heat up. Beyond geopolitics, these mega projects have real human and environmental costs. The railway cuts through biodiverse regions and indigenous lands in southern Mexico. Communities face displacement, environmental harm, and disruption of traditional life. Promised jobs often go to outsiders, while locals get low-wage temporary work. Ensuring real benefits for the people of the Isthmus is one of Mexico's biggest challenges. In 2025, the map is being redrawn, not with armies, but with railways and shipping lanes. China's backing for Mexico's corridor is more than an infrastructure story. It's a sign of shifting global power. American dominance is fading, and a new, economically driven era is rising. Climate change is making old certainties obsolete, opening doors for bold solutions. The world is becoming more multipolar. The US must compete with better offers, not just threats. For Mexico and Panama, this era brings both opportunity and risk. Their ability to balance great power competition will shape their future.